Superpanny, and this is my channel. This is my first video since before Christmas last year, so I just wanted to start by saying Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you guys. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and had a great time celebrating with whoever you celebrated with. And since this is the first video of the new year, I wanted to do something a bit more special than just what I've been playing recently and talking about that for a while. So I'm going to be talking about the top 5 games that I played last year that I really enjoyed. These have all had videos on my channel before, so as I talk about them I'll put the link up to the old video just in case you want to go back and see my opinions at that time compared to now. These games aren't in any particular order because I'm really bad at doing ordered lists because I can just never figure out what should be more important than something else, but these are just, in no particular order, the top 5 games that I really enjoyed of 2011. One of the first games that comes to mind when I think about the games that I really enjoyed last year is L.A. Noire. I didn't have the money for it when it first came out, but I was lucky enough to be able to borrow it from a friend who hadn't actually finished it yet. I didn't know that when I borrowed it, and I felt really bad afterwards because I was actually talking about the story to him. But it was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it. It felt like a cross between, I think I mentioned this in my old video, which I'll put the annotation up somewhere for it. It felt like a cross between Mafia 2 and Phoenix Wright for me. It was a really good combination and a really good game. It wasn't like too fast-paced except for a few bits that would... It felt really natural to be that kind of fast-paced in the game, but it was a really good game. I powered through it because I got really invested into the story. One of the only cons I can think of, or a couple I guess, is that the story kind of peaks about halfway through, then kind of... It's just not as gripping and fun from there on, which is a little disappointing, but it was still really fun. And the truth lie doubt system got a little bit iffy sometimes, but in general it was really cool, as well as the really human-like animations. There's a word for it, but I don't remember it right now, but you know, the whole facial technology, motion stuff, I don't understand it, but it looked really nice, and it was really cool to see a video game that looked so similar. It was like playing a movie, which without, you know, being so bored, I guess, but it was a really fun game, so that's why it's one of the top games of 2011 for me. The next game's actually 2 games, but it'd be silly to count them as separate entries, and it was actually the subject of one of the first videos I put in this channel, and that's Pokemon Black and White, the 5th generation game of the Pokemon series. The Pokemon designs in this game definitely weren't the strong point because after making like, what is it now, more than 600 Pokemon, you're bound to kind of lose creativity after a while, so I don't really blame them for not having too many great Pokemon designs, but they didn't ruin the game for me, which is good, because, you know, it could have been worse, I guess. The game itself I found really fun. It just made me want to keep playing. I soaked in probably 70 hours in the first week and a half or so, which was, you know, pretty decent. I think my housemates did more. It was a really fun community game kind of for me as well, because I had 3 housemates who were playing at the same time, and it was really fun to all play together and like yell things at each other. Have you been here yet? What happens here? And I have good memories of playing it with like the 4 of us. But the game design itself was really fun. The graphics were really nice as well. Like you compare it to how the red and blue and yellow looked, and it's amazing. So that's why it's on this list, because it was really fun, really nice to look at, and it took up a lot of my spare time. The next game's a pretty recent one that I had a lot of fun with, and that's Saints Row the Third. I did a review of it not long ago, so I'll put the link up around here somewhere. I had a lot of fun with Saints Row the Third. I'd only played Saints Row 2 not long before I got into Saints Row the Third, so it was like probably finished it a month or 2 before it came out. Before that I hadn't really had any interest in the series. All I'd heard was it was similar to Grand Theft Auto, but once I played Saints Row 2 I was like completely invested in the series forever. And Saints Row the Third just kind of... I think the best thing about it was that it really brought it away from Grand Theft Auto as like a separate franchise. Saints Row 1 and 2, you could kind of see that they were very similar to Grand Theft Auto, but their own game as well. Saints Row the Third has so much of that ridiculous, wacky content that it just like definitely puts like a solid line between itself and Grand Theft Auto. And it was a really good game like to do that, even though at some points it got a little bit crude and like a little bit almost too over the top, and it was definitely not a game for young kids to play. But, you know, I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm 20, so I can do what I want. You know, it was ridiculous and over the top, and the advertising was amazing. I loved the whole Professor Genki stuff, and it was a fantastic game and a really fun experience, and, you know, that's why it's on this list, because it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. The next game is Alice Madness Returns, the sequel to American McGee's Alice, which I hadn't actually played, and I still haven't. But one of the best things about Madness Returns is that it could stand on its own as well as being a sequel, and I always appreciate that in a game. I don't want to always have to have played the first 1, 2, whatever games to actually play and understand what's happening in the third game, so that was one of the best things about it. I was like, yes, I know what's going on. It was a really fun game. It rekindled my love for platforming, I think, because whenever I think about it, I'm just like, oh, I want to play a platformer. I want to jump around. I want to jump and go to different areas and different platforms and everything. So it rekindled my love for the platforming genre. It was a really good game. It really it got it got me pretty emotionally invested, I guess, into the game because I really felt for Alice as a character, and it was really good to kind of like see what was going on in her mind and like real life compared to Alice world, and it was just a really interesting game, and I definitely recommend it if you guys haven't played it. Even though the final boss battle was a bit of a letdown, that's probably one of the only bad things I could think about it. I had a bit of trouble with the health as well. The health system, I died a lot at the start, ended up buying the download content to have the regenerating health dress, which sounds cheap, but I had more fun with it, so I don't mind. But it was a really good game, and I definitely recommend it, even though, yeah, the boss battle's a bit... It's probably better near the start at the end, but it's still a fantastic game. I know this wasn't in any sort of particular order, but I did want to save the best till last, and I'm sure you guys know what it is since I haven't mentioned it already. So the top game of last year, I'd say, is Skyrim. Even though I hadn't played an Elder Scrolls game before Skyrim, I just, you know, I got completely lost in it. It was a fantastic game, so deep and like so... You know, the giant sprawling landscape, the freedom to do like whatever you want and develop your character in any way you want. It was a fantastic open world RPG, and it like completely enthralled me as well as like thousands of other people. It was fantastic. I love the fact that you could have a conversation with someone else who'd like just started the game. You were both, say, 5 hours in, and you'd take completely different paths, and you could both share your experiences and learn from it as well. It was a really fun game, and it's still a fantastic game. I still play it, even though I lost my saves somehow. I'm not really sure what happened, but I'm gonna go back and replay it eventually. But it was really fun, and it's a fantastic game, and I'm pretty sure everyone already knows this, but, you know, definitely recommend it 100%. So there we have my top 5 games of last year, 2011. Obviously, there were a bunch of games I didn't get to fit in my top 5, and a bunch of games I haven't even touched yet, like Uncharted 3, Catherine, which still isn't released in Australia, Dark Souls, which we have but I haven't played yet. Like, a whole bunch of games that I still definitely want to play but didn't get to yet, and that's why they weren't on this list. So let me know in the comments what your opinions are on my list and, you know, what games you enjoyed last year and all that kind of stuff. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter and Facebook. The links are in the description as usual, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. I think my next video will be what I'm looking forward to this year coming out, which will be fun and probably expensive in the long run. So, you know, have a great night, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!